Welcome to English Weaver, dear friends. Today we dive into the vibrant world of Pablo Picasso, a man whose colors and shapes changed art forever. In this channel, we learn English through fascinating stories, so make sure to subscribe and enjoy the journey. Imagine walking through a gallery and seeing shapes that feel alive, as if they speak. That is the magic of Picasso, who made art feel new and exciting. His life is a story of passion, creativity, and endless curiosity that will inspire us all. In this story, we first explore his early years in sunny Malaga, Spain, where young Pablo showed a gift for drawing. His family supported him and his teachers noticed his skill. This strong start shaped the artist he would become. Soon, Picasso's art would change the world. From deep blue works that spoke of sadness to bold shapes in his revolutionary Cubism style, his brush led us to see life in a new way. His story is full of emotion and daring choice. From drawing his first portrait to exploring new ideas, young Picasso felt the pull of creativity every day. He did not follow rules, but he let his heart guide him. His spirit was fearless, ready to try fresh shapes and colors without fear of failure. At 16, he moved to Barcelona, a lively city full of art and music. There he met other young artists and writers who shared his dreams. Later he went to Paris, the heart of the art world, where his talent would grow even stronger. People began to notice his work. Some were puzzled by his strange forms, others were amazed by his bold visions. This mix of praise and confusion only fueled his determination to push art forward in ways no one had imagined. His first gallery show brought many to admire his paintings. Critics wrote about his daring new ideas, while fans waited to see what he would create next. His heart raced with excitement and a hint of nervousness as the spotlight shone on him. Behind the art, Picasso felt joy and doubt, hope and fear. He poured his feelings onto canvas, creating images that spoke to every soul. His journey was not just about technique, but about expressing the deep emotions that all people share. Today's beginning shows the first steps of a giant path. In coming chapters, we will learn how Picasso faced challenges, found new styles, and left a lasting mark on the art world. Let your imagination roam as we step forward. In Malaga, Spain, young Pablo was born on October 25, 1881, into an artistic family. His father taught art at the local school, and he showed talent from the start. As a child, he would sketch every day, filling pages with simple lines and shapes. By age 7, Pablo painted his first canvas. It showed a small parrot and a warm home. His mother and father celebrated, and they hung it on their wall. These early smiles gave Pablo the courage to keep creating with pure joy. At 9 years old, he moved with his family to the nearby city of La Coruña. There, Pablo attended a new school with many students. He often finished art class first, then helped friends learn to draw. His teachers called him a quiet but dedicated boy. Life in La Coruña brought new sights. Waves crashed on the shore, fishing boats peppered the coast. Pablo drew every boat he saw. He learned how light changed on curved wood. These simple sketches taught him more than any classroom. When Pablo was 13, his family moved to Barcelona. The city felt alive with music and color. Street vendors sold flowers and fruit. Boys played guitar on cobblestone lanes. Every corner offered a new idea for pencil or paint. In Barcelona, Pablo joined art classes at the School of Fine Arts. He studied old masters like Velázquez and Goya. He copied their canvases with care, learning to mix color and craft form. His skill grew fast with each careful stroke. Outside the classroom, Pablo explored the lively Gothic quarter. He sketched narrow alleys and cathedral spires. He watched painters on street corners and listened to poets recite verses. Every moment filled his mind with fresh stories. At 16, he painted First Communion. It was a large and detailed work. Friends praised his skill and shared his painting. This success showed that Pablo did not paint just for fun. He painted because he believed art could speak to all. Despite praise, Pablo felt shy in crowds. He often sat alone in parks with his sketchbook. He drew children playing or old men reading. Through these quiet moments, he learned to notice feeling in simple scenes. His father guided him but also let him explore. He said, "Learn all you can, but always trust your own hand." This advice lit a spark in Pablo. He began to experiment beyond classical rules, chasing something new. At home, his mother cooked stews and told him tales of Spain's past. Those stories stirred his imagination. He drew wild horses and proud matadors. He blended memory and fantasy on his paper, shaping his own visual world. Pablo's childhood was not carefree. The family struggled with money when health problems hit. Yet young Pablo saw art as hope. Whenever he felt sad, he painted bright scenes of home and laughter. At school, he faced competition from talented peers. He sometimes felt doubt, but he used that doubt to work harder, waking early to sketch sunrise over rooftops. Small failures led him to try new lines and richer tones. Friends admired his kindness. He would lend pencils to classmates and share tips. This gentle spirit helped him build friendships that would last into adulthood. Those friends later became his first gallery supporters. By age 19, Pablo finished formal study in Barcelona. He had mastered technique and shown promise, yet his heart was restless. He longed to see the wider world of art beyond Spain's shores. He packed a small bag of paints and set off for Paris, the art capital of Europe. But that journey belongs to the next chapter. For now, we see a boy shaped by family love, by sea breezes, and by endless sketching under Spain's bright sun. Through childhood, Picasso built a strong foundation. He learned discipline in the classroom, wonder in the streets, and resilience in hard times. These years taught him to see both beauty and sorrow with an open heart. Now, with heart full of memories and sketchbook brimming with ideas, Pablo prepared to embark on his Parisian adventure. The next chapter unfolds his first steps into the world's great art capital, where his style would truly begin to transform. In the next part, we will follow him into the thrilling world of Paris, where he would discover new styles and meet fellow artists who shaped his bold future. In Paris, Picasso arrived with a small suitcase of paints and worn brushes, feeling a mix of wonder and determination. Montmartre's bustling streets greeted him with artists at every corner, eager to share ideas and join creative debates under soft cafe lights. He settled into Atelier des Bateaux Lavoie, a humble studio by the Seine. Here he met Georges Braque and other young painters. They discussed color theory, sketched side by side, and challenged each other to break free from old styles and invent fresh ways to see the world. Picasso's first major work in Paris was in his blue period. He painted in shades of deep blue and cool green, capturing themes of poverty and isolation. Works like The Old Guitarist showed a hunched man and silent sadness, leaving viewers moved by the quiet beauty of his empathy. Critics praised his emotional depth, and collectors started to take notice. His blue period lasted from 1901 to 1904. During these years, he explored sorrow with gentle brushstrokes, proving that art could touch hearts and speak without words, forging his early reputation. By 1906, Picasso shifted to the rose period. Warm pinks and earth tones filled his canvases. He painted circus performers and acrobats with tenderness and joy. These paintings radiated hope after years of blue melancholy, and fans welcomed the lighter mood with enthusiasm. In 1907, he unveiled Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, a work that shook the art world. 5 women appeared in angular forms, their faces inspired by African masks and Iberian sculpture. This bold vision defied tradition and sparked heated debates in Paris salons. Some saw Demoiselle as a threat to classical beauty, while others hailed it as genius. With this painting, Picasso challenged artists to reinvent shapes and perspectives, laying the groundwork for his next breakthrough, Cubism, a movement to reshape art's very foundations. Together with Braque, Picasso pioneered analytic cubism around 1908. They deconstructed objects into fragmented planes and muted colors, inviting viewers to assemble the image with their own minds. This radical idea changed art, making each work a puzzle of hidden dimensions. Paintings like Majoli and Violin and Palette offered glimpses of objects broken into diamonds, cubes, and triangles. These works required active engagement, as spectators searched for familiar forms within a dance of lines and tones, forever altering the art's relationship with its audience. In 1912, synthetic cubism emerged. Picasso introduced collage elements like newspaper clippings and wallpaper into paintings. He embraced everyday materials, mixing textures and words on canvas. This playful technique blurred boundaries between art and life, surprising all who saw it. His collage, Still Life with Chair Caning, featured rope edging and printed oilcloth, making viewers question what was real and what was painted. By blending real objects with illusion, Picasso invited people to question perception itself, redefining artistic possibility. During World War I, Picasso remained in Paris, shifting styles again. He painted elegant, elongated figures and explored classical themes alongside friends like Jean Cocteau and the Ballet Russe. He designed costumes and sets for Diaghilev's productions, merging art with performance. His work with the Ballets Russes in 1917 introduced him to new audiences. Designing for Parade, he crafted stage backdrops with bold shapes and bright colors. The show blended music, dance, and surreal imagery, foreshadowing the modernist experiments of the coming decades. In the 1920s, Surrealism influenced Picasso. He created dreamlike works with organic shapes and unusual juxtapositions. Paintings such as The Dream depicted lovers in soft curves and rich hues, reflecting his passionate relationship with Marie-Thérèse Walter and inner emotional world. Beyond painting, Picasso ventured into sculpture. Starting in 1909, he assembled metal scraps and wood to form three-dimensional cubist figures. His sculptures played with negative space and unexpected angles, inviting viewers to walk around and discover new views at every turn. In 1932, he celebrated his lover Dora Maar in The Weeping Woman, using sharp lines and vivid colors to capture anguish. This powerful portrait combined cubist structure with raw emotion, showing how he could fuse form and feeling into unforgettable images. Picasso's art responded to history. When the Spanish Civil War erupted, he created Guernica in 1937. This massive mural showed the horror of bombing on civilians, depicted in fractured bodies and screaming faces. It became a timeless symbol of despair and the struggle for justice. Guernica toured the world, raising awareness and rallying support for Spain's suffering. Its monochrome palette and intense composition made it instantly recognizable. Through this work, Picasso proved that art could serve as powerful protest and a call for human empathy. Throughout his career, Picasso experimented with ceramics, printmaking, and tapestry. He explored each medium with curiosity, often revisiting earlier themes in fresh forms. His ceramics combined playful motifs with expert craftsmanship, delighting collectors and museums alike. He opened the Picasso workshop in Vallauris during the late 1940s. There, he molded clay into joyful figures and painted plates with dancing goats and bulls. His ceramics brought art into everyday life, showing that creative joy could light up a simple meal or home gathering. Later, he embraced classical painting once more, producing portraits of friends and lovers in bold brushstrokes. His late works burst with richness as he layered vibrant hues to capture personality and presence. Even in old age, his creativity burned with fresh fire. Over 6 decades, Picasso created an estimated 50,000 works. His restless mind never stopped exploring. He moved from blue to rose to cubism, surrealism, and beyond. Each phase added new chapters to modern art, inspiring countless artists to follow their own inventive paths. His achievements earned worldwide acclaim, Museums dedicated entire wings to his work, and retrospectives drew millions. He won official honors in Spain and France, yet he remained humble, often saying that creativity was less about fame and more about constant discovery. Picasso's career shows us how to embrace change, explore diverse ideas, and challenge norms. His bold experiments with shape, color, and medium reshaped art history. By refusing to settle, he taught generations to view limits as new starting points for invention. As we reflect on these milestones, we see a life driven by curiosity, emotion, and daring vision. From Paris studios to global acclaim, Picasso's journey invites us to question what art can be and how each of us, like him, can break free from tradition to create something truly new. The next chapter will explore the challenges he faced, the controversies that surrounded him, and how he responded to adversity in both life and art. His story is as much about resilience as it is about triumph, revealing the human behind the legend. With this overview of his career and achievements, we appreciate the breadth of his genius and the depth of his innovation. His legacy continues to shape galleries, inspire creators, and remind us that art can change the way we see ourselves and our world. As Picasso once said, art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. In his hands, paint and clay became tools of transformation, giving voice to emotions and ideas that still speak loudly today. Let his achievements encourage your own creative journey. Now, with eyes open to Picasso's remarkable projects and inventions, we prepare to dive into the next chapter of his life. We will see his struggles and failures and learn how he turned hardship into fuel for artistic growth. Critics in Paris once called his work ugly and nonsense. Their harsh voices echoed in galleries, making Picasso doubt his vision. He felt alone, yet each insult fueled his drive to create shapes that spoke louder than any word. During his blue period, he struggled with sadness. He painted in lonely blues because his friend's death weighed on his mind. Tears fell on his brushes, but he kept painting, turning grief into moving images that touched many hearts. In 1907, after Les Demoiselles, some collectors refused to buy his work. He feared financial ruin. Piles of unsold canvases filled his studio. Yet he learned patience, saving each rejected painting until someone saw its genius. World War I brought food shortages in Paris. Paint and canvas became luxuries. Picasso adapted by using scraps, newspaper, wallpaper, rope. These humble bits became part of his art, teaching him that limits can spark invention. As success grew, his friendships frayed. Georges Braque felt jealous of praise shifting toward Picasso. Their conversations turned uneasy, and Picasso missed the warm debates he once loved. He learned that fame can test even closest bonds. In the 1930s, he faced inner turmoil. His marriage began to crumble as he fell for younger women. Guilt and confusion mixed in his mind. He channeled these feelings into portraits of sorrow, learning that art could reveal the complexity of love. The Spanish Civil War brought news of destruction at home. He heard of bombings and loss from afar. His spirit cracked with worry, yet he painted Guernica, a giant cry of protest. The act of creating gave him purpose amid horror. During World War II, German soldiers patrolled Paris streets. Picasso risked showing Guernica in a hidden studio. Fear knotted his stomach, but he refused to hide his message. His courage showed that art can resist tyranny. Critics accused him of political games, claiming he sought attention. Their rumors stung his pride. Still, he held fast to his beliefs, learning that integrity in art means standing by your truth even when voices shout against you. In midlife, he faced creative blocks. For months, he stared at blank canvases, his ideas lost in a fog. Frustration led him to tear up sketches, yet he forced himself to draw simple lines each day, building momentum one stroke at a time. At one point, he destroyed a favorite painting in anger. The ripped canvas lay on the floor like a wound. He felt regret, but then saw new paths in the torn edges. He glued fragments into a collage, turning loss into a bold experiment. Publishers sometimes delayed payments for his prints. Pablo waited for months, empty pockets and hungry afternoons. He learned to budget carefully and trust that his art's value would always speak for itself in the end. His health suffered under late nights of painting. Exhaustion clouded focus and cramps seized his hands. He discovered the need for rest between sessions. He began to balance long studio hours with walks in sunlight to renew energy. Some friends accused him of selfishness, chasing fame over loyalty. Their voices pierced him deeply. He apologized where he could and tried to be more present. These moments taught him that success is richer when shared with kind hearts. Critics challenged Cubism as too cold and abstract. They said only the mind, not the soul, could read its shapes. Picasso answered with vibrant portraits showing warmth in angles, proving that emotion can live in broken forms. His relationship with Marie-Thérèse fell apart under the weight of public scandal. Rumors spread in Paris cafes. She felt hurt and betrayed. He learned that personal choices echo loudly, and that true art must respect both heart and conscience. When people questioned his patriotism because he stayed in France, he felt torn. Spain felt distant under Franco's rule. He missed his homeland deeply, yet he continued to speak for its people through powerful, silent images. Critics in Spain banned his work for its modern styles. Pablo saw empty walls and galleries back home. This rejection stung like cold wind, but he held hope that one day art would bridge borders and heal old wounds. In later years, he battled arthritis in his hands. Holding brushes became painful. He adapted by switching to broader strokes and larger canvases, showing that adapting tools can open new creative doors when the body changes. Some saw his many marriages and affairs as scandalous. Tabloids shouted about his private life. He learned to keep his paintbrush sharper than gossip, letting his art tell stories that outlasted fleeting rumors. Throughout each trial, Picasso kept a simple rule: paint every day. He faced each challenge with brush in hand, believing that steady effort melts away doubt and transforms obstacles into new ideas on canvas. When galleries closed in World War II, he opened his own small exhibition at home. Neighbors peeked through windows and whispered praise. Their support lifted his spirits and reminded him that art brings people together even in darkness. He lost close friends to war and illness. Each loss felt like a shadow over his palette. Yet he remembered their laughter and sketched memories in dedicated drawings, honoring their lives through lines that danced with affection. Facing critics, loss, health problems, and love torn apart, Picasso learned that true strength grew from vulnerability. He showed us that embracing hard feelings can ignite bold new visions and fuel the artist within. His failures became stepping stones. Every rejection slipped beneath his skin, urging him to paint louder, dream bigger, and dare more. In his darkest hours, he discovered that art's spark shines brightest in the night. Through rivalry, exile, and personal storms, he never surrendered his creative flame. He met each setback with curiosity, letting questions guide him to fresh techniques and deeper expression. By accepting pain as part of his palette, Picasso turned shadows into shapes and tears into color. His challenges taught him empathy, courage, and the power of starting anew with every sunrise. We see in his story that every artist faces storms. What matters is not avoiding failure, but learning to paint with its lessons. In Picasso's life, setbacks were not ends but beginnings of new adventures. Now we have seen how he rose from self-doubt, scandal, and war. Next, we will celebrate his triumphs, his lasting legacy, and the lessons he leaves for us all to carry forward in our own creative paths. As Picasso once noted, art is a lie that makes us realize truth. Through his challenges, he found genuine truth within forms, teaching us to embrace struggle as the canvas for our greatest achievements. With age came acclaim. Museums in Paris, London, and New York displayed Picasso's work. People traveled across continents just to stand before his canvases. His legacy grew as each exhibition sparked new debates and inspired fresh creativity. Critics praised his endless reinvention. They admired how a single artist moved from melancholy blue to vibrant cubist fragments, then to playful ceramics. His fearless exploration showed artists everywhere that change is a source of strength, not fear. Generations of painters, sculptors, and designers studied his methods. At art schools, students examined Les Demoiselles to learn how to question reality and traced cubist lines to see how form can be broken and rebuilt. His teaching happened through every brushstroke. Poets and writers found inspiration in his bold portraits. Musicians composed pieces echoing cubist rhythms, while architects designed buildings that fractured light like his paintings. His influence moved beyond galleries, shaping the very way we perceive shape and space. Picasso became a symbol of creative courage. He showed that art need not follow rules, but can invent its own. His life taught us to embrace uncertainty, experiment with materials, and use emotion as a powerful tool to speak without words. His artworks now reside in the world's greatest collections. Guernica hangs as a reminder of wartime tragedy, while Girl Before a Mirror reflects the complexities of identity. Each piece tells a story that transcends time, inviting viewers to find their own meaning. Museums host retrospectives that span his 70-year career. Visitors trace his evolving hand and see how each period built upon the last. These shows celebrate not only his art, but the daring spirit that urged him to reinvent himself again and again. Beyond technique, Picasso's life offers lessons in resilience. He faced criticism, loss, and personal turmoil, yet he continued to create. His secret lay in simple daily practice, painting a little each morning so that progress came through persistence. Today, young artists emulate his example. They pick up discarded materials, collage fragments of culture, and layer their own stories onto canvas. In this way, Picasso's spirit lives on in every daring experiment and every bold stroke against convention. Schools use his story to teach more than art history. They highlight how curiosity fuels growth, how failure offers valuable insight, and how collaboration with peers can spark revolutionary ideas. His life becomes a blueprint for creative success. Philanthropists and cultural leaders cite his work to support arts education. They argue that communities flourish when people learn to express themselves freely, just as Picasso showed through his varied styles and fearless innovations. His personal motto, "Every act of creation is first an act of destruction," reminds us to question the comfortable and break old structures to find new truths. This lesson applies far beyond art, guiding anyone who seeks to innovate. In homes around the world, families display his posters and prints. Children grow up with his playful ceramic plates and colorful sketches, absorbing a message that art belongs to everyone, not just elite circles. Celebrations of his centenary drew millions of visitors, proving that his work still captivates. Lectures, films, and books continue to unpack his methods and meaning, ensuring that each generation rediscovers Picasso's genius in fresh lights. Through his bold vision, unwavering practice, and capacity to transform hardship into beauty, Picasso's legacy teaches us that creativity has no limits, and that every one of us can reshape our world with imagination and courage. Through decades of painting, sculpting, and dreaming, Picasso showed how passion shapes life. He began as a curious child in Spain, then challenged tradition in Paris. His journey reminds us that art is a path of constant discovery, and that every small sketch can spark a great idea. His legacy lives not only in museums, but also in our everyday world. Families hang his prints at home, and students learn from his bold experiments. He taught us that creativity has no bounds, and that each of us can find new forms by embracing curiosity and courage. Today, we celebrate Picasso's gift of seeing differently. He turned sorrow into beauty, limits into inventions, and silence into powerful messages. His story shows that art can be a tool for hope and change, inviting us all to explore our own voices and tell our unique stories. Thank you for joining this journey through Picasso's life. I hope you feel inspired to try something new, perhaps a simple drawing or a fresh perspective on an everyday object. Let his example encourage you to pick up a brush, a pen, or an idea, and begin your own creative adventure today. Now I'd love to hear from you. What lesson from Picasso's life speaks to your heart? Do you see a moment in his story that reminds you of your own challenges or dreams? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this conversation together. See you next time on English Weaver, where we explore great stories and learn English along the way. Keep creating, stay curious, and remember that every act of imagination brings us closer to understanding our world.